How do you stay in the music business for over 25 years? Well, we got the king of freestyle, George Lamond, right here.
Rising up, here we go. No time to be afraid. They say it's impossible. And listen to what they say. They got me motivated. Oh yeah, I'm motivated.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Maximize the Business of You. I'm Maximino, and today I have the king of freestyle, Mr. George Lamond, my buddy, my friend.
What's going on, baby?
What's up, baby? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So, George, man, you are the king of freestyle. You've been labeled the so they say. I call you the king of freestyle, but a lot of people also talk to me. How does it feel being called the king of a genre of music? Like,
it's flattering, number one, and it's beautiful. I mean, you know, it feels like you worked your butt off, and you know, you did something good. I beg to differ, but you know,
this guy's humble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, you know, I don't like that pressure on me because I mean, I think it comes with a lot of stuff. You know, I personally say I think it's Stevie B. My thing is, you know, when you sell records and you sell out arenas and you go gold and platinum and you've written for other people and he just has a really big resume. Give a lot of respect out to Stevie B, but I'll take the Prince.
There's a lot of young people that don't know about freestyle music.
Yeah.
They heard it, they heard the music, but they don't know the history of it. Can you break down a little bit?
It started in 85, 84, here in the Bronx, the Devil's Nest, Little Louis Vega, Latin Rascals, Andy Panda, and a slew of other DJs that are all connected. Started playing a lot of techno and European dance, 808-ish type of music with just with rhythms that were like 120 BPMs, because everything was 120 BPMs and up. And everything back then was all, you know, Sugar Hill and everything like that was pretty much in those type of BPMs, but they were just pretty much back and forth rap records. And the Latinos in the neighborhood, we didn't really have our thing, you know. The blacks had the hip hop music and the rap, and they had the production and all the light. We were the ones that were pretty much filling in the dancing void, and we needed an outlet. And going to the clubs, that's what we heard. And a lot of DJs, including Little Louis Vega, was introducing us records like Latin Rascals, One Way Love, you know, and Cover Girls. And out of nowhere, you know, the movement started. It was like a reggaeton. Everybody wanted to go to this club and listen to this music. It started spreading like wildfire. Then, you know, he got residents in the city, and when you're DJing in the Bronx and you do residents in the city, that's big. So when he went to Heartthrobs, it was Funhouse and it turned into Heartthrobs, that's when it just blew out the box.
Studio 54.
Because now you're with the whites, you're with the Italians, you're with, you know, just different people all combined in this, and people were just feeling it. And then next thing you know, radio caught on it. And it was the first time you saw a lot of young Latinos creating, writing, producing, young kids, man, like, you know, like your son's age, you know, and making money. Then next thing you know, Hot 103 started adding it, which was a dance station back then. And I think Joe Sacros was the was it BD from there, and he added the Battle of the Heart, and from then on.
Your first hit, Battle of the Heart, 1988.
Well, it was signed to an independent deal in '86. It was released in '87 under an independent label with Adam Levy, called an independent label called Lagosa Records, which was owned by Chris Barbosa and Mark Liggett, who produced Shannon, Let the Music Play, you know, and they had Little Brother and all those songs, and Monet. So then, you know, I signed with them. They came over to the Bronx, checked me out, and the record was out. And I was one of the lucky ones too, because I didn't do the, you know, meetings and the grind. We did the demo. We did Battle of the Heart, Blessing in Disguise, and there was two other songs, I Want You or something like that. And me, Lewis, and Marilyn Rodriguez, who wrote Battle of the Heart and co-wrote Judy Torres, I Won't Stop Loving You. I mean, C-Bank, I Won't Stop Loving You, and There's No Reason to Cry by Judy Torres. We put them in envelopes, man, and we just shipped them out to everybody, and everybody called us back, and we had meetings, and next thing you know, we missed one meeting, which was in Park Avenue with Chris Barbosa. He wasn't there. So we showed up and we retracted all the way. He wasn't there. He came to see us, man. He came back to the Bronx. He goes, where are you guys? I'm so sorry. About 3 hours later, I was running late in the meeting. He came all the way to the BX at 170. He went to the projects and he came up and he's like, yeah, little tough little neighborhood, man. But he came up, showed us love. We sang. I sang for him in front of the living room. Then Columbia signed it. Then they re-released it again.
Right.
They re-released it. That's when they got signed.
And you had the album.
CBS. Yeah, and then the album. We did 3 albums with CBS.
Sony.
And with Sony.
It was CBS back then.
Yeah, it was CBS. It was CBS Columbia.
Right.
It was you know, now I used to tell everybody, yeah, I'm Columbia. But, you know, I was a little kid. I was, 19, 20 years old. I had a production deal. So it was really signed to Chris Barbosa and Mark Liggett. But, it was Chris Barbosa, Ligosa Productions, and Loose Touch, which became George Lamond.
Gotcha.
So they changed my name. They didn't want George Garcia. It just didn't have the right click.
It rings now, man.
It rings. But I was devastated when they changed my name.
Okay, I mean, but you know what? George Lamond works.
I was devastated. I was hurt because I wanted to show the neighborhood that a Latino like named George Garcia and looked Latino came from this, because it was grimy back then. I'm talking about broken building.
Yeah, the 80s.
It was, I'm saying, it was just coming out of a funk. So, I wanted to show people, look, man, if I did it, you guys can do it too. And a lot of followed suit. They did their own thing. There's a lot of good names that came out of the BX. J-Lo.
Freestyle music doesn't get the props it deserves. It kind of like gets disrespected, gets thrown on the side as not legitimate.
Yeah, that's one thing.
What do you think is the reason why?
Back then, their relationship with their record company and their record producers weren't as fortunate as I was. Like Chris Barbosa and Mark Liggett, they told me everything from analog to the SSL board all the way up to flying vocals literally on 2-inch tape. They gave me dub mixes, instrumentals, acapellas, dub instrumentals. They gave them all to me. So he goes, these are for you to use for your show. Whenever you need it, save them on that. It's a digital audio tape for y'all people don't know. And you save them and the quality was great. And that's what I have to this day. And a lot of the other cats, they have their vocals on it because that's all they have. Because a lot of producers were young kids and they didn't know. I mean, I'm sure they didn't do it on purpose.
They just didn't know.
They just didn't know. And the artists didn't know as well. They figured, I'll do a TV track with vocals on it. And hence, freestylers really can't sing when you hear the vocals.
Right, and that was the stigma, like, oh, the melodies sound the same, these guys can't sing, and it had a good, 10-year, 5-year? When it was really popular?
When it was popular, it had a good 10 year. 10 year.
And then it went underground again, but you were always working, Kay always working.
Yes.
A bunch of guys always working.
Yeah, we lost radio, that's what happened. Hot 97, just like every other radio station, had to turn their format because they were losing some of their listeners, and their listeners were growing up, and they had different tastes, different styles, and they wanted something different, so your MTV Raps came in, and boom. I remember I got the call from Columbia Records, they says the format radio station in New York City is going to change to hip-hop. So we were like, all right, cool, I was listening to hip-hop, I was
But you didn't know what it meant for you.
It didn't mean what it, yeah, when they stripped my music down, I was like, okay, well, now I'm not on the airwaves anymore.
Right.
In New York. New York, because there was other states that would still play my music, but come on, you want to hear it in your hometown.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, and that's pretty much what happened. And but going back to your question, that's where a lot of people got the stigma of freestylers not being so talented, because a lot of these kids wrote their songs, they produced a lot of their songs, and they pretty much created the style of what it is today.
Right. In your years being in the music business, what's the hardest part about it?
I would say the hardest part of this business is deciding whether you want to stay in it to make it a full-time job or you want to make it a secondary job. When you start this business, you get all this woo-ha and all this hype. Oh, this song is great. And then you think it's always going to be like that. And in this business, it's like an elevator, when you're hot, and then you drop real quick. And let me tell you, it's a music business. People need to make money. They need something from you, just like you need something from them. So as soon as you hit that top, you be quick to hit the bottom real quick. But it's all right. You can stay there if you don't do nothing about it, but you could just keep persevering and be passionate about it and make it happen again. People get exhausted right away. They get tired and they're like, I ain't doing this no more. It's a business. So I would say staying on that fine line, Don't get too high, don't get too low. Try to float above the water and you'll be all right.
Does George Lamond have a morning routine that gets him day going?
Yeah, George Lamond does have a morning routine. He fell off of it for like 3 months, but he's getting back on it.
We all do.
So my regimen is get up in the morning. If I have my son, which I have him like 3 or 4 days a week, or sometimes 3 days a week, I get him ready. George gets up. He brushes his teeth, makes his coffee, and I pack my kids' stuff, take them off to school. Right off of there, I go straight to the gym. I do about 2 hours, 3 hours of racquetball. You know, it's cardio. It's good for the heart. You sweat. It keeps you mobile.
Of course.
As old as me. And then after that, I come home and I have some sessions. I either have some writing sessions, or I work with other musicians in other various projects, whether it's a feature or it's just writing, creating, making
So you're constantly
music.
creating, yep.
Constant creating. You can't stop. You know,
Right,
so
absolutely.
Because you never know what you're gonna get from A to B.
After Battle of the Heart, you've had a bunch of hit records on different genres. Like you did a salsa
I did
album,
a salsa record, right?
which was really big.
Right, that one did really good. We got 2 albums out. That was in 1999, and then it reached to like 2003. So I was on Sony Latino.
Yeah.
And then we did the group thing with
Yeah,
Robert Villas.
we were in a group together, y'all.
Together back in like 2003 and 4. So
That was fun, man.
That was a Japanese label, Sony out there.
Yeah.
And then in 2008, I was on Corey Robbins' label, Robbins Entertainment.
And you did the Don't Stop Believing.
Remake. I get stuck with a lot of the remixes. The remakes, I don't know, it just works. We did.
But you know what,
Don't
though?
Stop
Can I
Believing.
say something about that? That's what keeps you going. So you see remakes, people are doing covers now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that Don't Stop Believing record gave you a whole nother.
It gave me a whole
nother life.
another life, another audience, you know, another younger audience, and even the salsa gave me it gave me an older audience.
Right.
So I reached, you know, beyond, and I also did little different duets on Salsa Project with Eddie Santiago,
Right.
and Sergio George, you know, and Jerry Rivera. So these things were great. I was going international, and I got a wide spectrum. I always mess around. I just haven't done a reggae record. It's coming soon. Because I love just about every type of music, but yeah, and then from there on, I did that, and then after that, I went independent, and thanks to Apple and iTunes and
So you put your own records out.
You just control it all yourself, and man, what
That's
a
awesome.
process that is.
It is. But you know what? It's dope to be in control of your own destiny, and that's what many musicians should know, that you can do that. And I'm sure you guys know that you can do that today. Now, any books that you could recommend to the maximized audience out there that you read that's helped you at all?
Yeah, there's one. Well, there's a book, and then for me, there was one man who changed my life.
Okay.
There was one man who changed my life, and that was by accident. That was Anthony Robbins. Now, that was for me. I was at a point in my life where I had got divorced. I was a big ass at one point, and I started feeling sorry for myself, and I had gone through a bad divorce. I lost my kids temporarily, and I turned into this infomercial that I had saw with Tony Robbins, and he pretty much lifted me out of the dark, and there was a lot of things in there that I'm sure I could have done on my own, but he was like a coach, you know?
Yeah.
He was like this voice that really helped me get out of there, and he changed my life, and I thank him for being the person I am today. I read a lot of his books and a lot of his CDs.
If you could talk to the 20-year-old George Lamond, what advice would you give the 20-year-old George Lamond right now?
Really? The true story?
Yeah.
All right. Invest your money, right? If you come across any money, don't spend it on a nice car. Don't spend it on big-time jewelry.
Bullshit.
Don't spend it on bullshit. Take your money and invest your money, because as soon as you get it, it's going to go away just like that. I can guarantee you that. You know, and one of the things that I learned the hard way was my family loved me, and you know, unconditionally, and they would do anything for me. But the problem was, you know, my mom and dad, they didn't even finish elementary
Right.
school.
It's like most of us in the
They
hood.
didn't finish elementary school.
They never taught us about investing.
Right. I didn't have any type of education, financial education in my family.
Yeah.
But they loved me and they wanted me to do right. So, what do you do to your family? You take care of them.
Of course.
You know. So you take that. I took that money and I
Helped everybody.
Helped everybody,
And that's
except for helping me.
What are 2 apps on your phone that keeps George Lamond straight and keeps him productive?
Facebook keeps me straight, and I'll tell you why it keeps me straight.
Okay.
It keeps me straight because you know what's going on all around the world. You know what's going on you know what's going on with your fans. You know what's going on with the world. The other app is Voice Note. Apple has this thing called Voice Note, which is amazing. So you could always start pressing record, and just like a recorder.
Melodies,
You hit record,
ideas.
you drive, and you just start singing into your iWatch or your phone or whatever it is, and those things come a long way, because when you want to write a song, you're like, let me see which melody I had it 4 years ago, let me see, and you click it, and you got some ideas, and if not for you, for somebody else.
How do you balance work, family, and just silence and trying to stay connected, but because this kind of social media and technology kind of distracts us from being silent. So how do you balance it off?
Believe it or not, it's not as difficult for me as it is because, again, I'm a loner. I'm a huge movie buff. I'm a huge documentary buff. So, and I like to learn about just about anything. It fascinates me when you learn so much. So what I do is I usually shut my phone off. I'm home alone. I'm home alone twice a week. And I shut the phone off, shut the ring off, and I go on any type of Netflix media, whatever, Hulu, whatever, and I just start watching just any type of documentary that I feel
that you can learn,
that I'm gonna need in the next coming weeks, or something that's coming out that I just don't understand. I go back in and I literally indulge myself, and I learn so much. And then from there, usually that leads me into buying a book, you know, and I learn that way as well. So that's my me time to balance myself out.
Where can people find out all about George Lamond?
If you want to reach out to me for bookings, you could always call my business line at BAG Entertainment, which is, let me see if I can get this right, 917-601-4250. That's the booking agent line. And then The Real George Lamond on Instagram, and then George Lamond on Twitter, and also Facebook, George Lamond. And that's pretty much where you can see a lot of my postings. I'm big on cooking, I'm big on politics, I'm big on fathering and mothering and family, and I'm big on all types of music. So you'll see a lot of my annoying postings, especially this one coming up.
Hey, remember everybody, maximize, please like, please share. You are my distribution, like I always say, you are my distribution. So I appreciate you guys. Till next time, we out.
Antidote.